What up, my name is Brad. Welcome back to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So, I am notoriously the Pokemon guy among my friend group, right? IRL, whatever else. Not YouTube. Well, kind of YouTube, but not really. I'm notoriously the Pokemon guy. Like, I just kind of have all the knowledge about it because it's like kind of like my life, right? And I'm noticing a lot of people asking me questions on how things work in the game that I kind of just assumed everybody knew at this point. How bottle caps work, how mints work. I'm now learning most people don't. We're going to go through today. I'm going to take a Pokemon that has not terrible stats, but not good stats, and I'm going to show you the difference in this. How everything works. We'll take it nice and easy and slow. Show you how to get some good Pokemon you can use. This will not be covering breeding if you want a breeding video. I'm never going to like that line, but if you want a breeding video, I can do that. No problem. Leave a like on this one, and then I'll know you enjoyed it, and we can go from there. Without further ado, let's get in. Sub to the channel. Let's go. Okay, for the sake of this, we're going to use this Dragonite that I randomly caught in a raid. So, once you beat the game, you become champion. Not necessarily the raids afterwards, or the gym leader rematches, just get those done. But not after that. You come into here, right? See, I keep doing this. The boxes throw me off. So look on the right side. That's called the judge feature. You see where it says best or decent? So you'll have something that says no good. That means it has 0 out of 31 in that stat. And it scales up along the way. It goes to pretty good, to decent, to very good, to best. Best means it's 31 out of 31. That's the best that the stat can be. Right? Nice and simple. Right now, ignore the judge feature just for the time being. I just want to explain what that was. Step number 1. I always like to look at natures. So, you kind of just need to learn this. Your 4 most common natures are going to be Adamant, which is attack up, special attack down. Modest, special attack up, attack down. You're going to have Jolly, which is speed up, special attack down. And Timid, which is speed up, attack down. So they kind of go back and forth if you're a special attacker, if you want to be speedy but still hit kind of hard, you don't want to ruin your attack stat. For this Dragonite, you can really rock Jolly with Dragonite because he has a high enough attack stat. Use Serebii.com to look up individual Pokemon's base stats. And kind of, you have to learn a little bit along the way too. Can't just watch a guide on every single Pokemon that you ever want to use ever, right? But Dragonite has a very high base attack and decent enough speed that you can rock it. Maybe sometimes you want to run some kind of defense on it, but for the sake of this, no. We're going to rock Adamant right now because he's speedy enough, and I also don't have a Jolly Mint. So we're going to put Adamant onto our Dragonite. It might affect Dragonite's stats. Are you sure you want to use it? Yes. So we're going to go right back over. I believe it was, 215 before? Click right over here. 251 now. So you see, just from changing our stat right there, we go from 215 to 251. And you can see how now we're special attack down, because we're not going to be specially attacking with Dragonite. He doesn't have a very good special attacking nature. So we don't want to do that. Cool. Start out with natures, figure out what nature your Pokemon needs. Again, it's one of those 4, more than likely. Adamant, Modest, Jolly, Timid. And then once you start getting really that basic down, then you can move into, okay, well, I want defense on this Pokemon. And you want to have specific spreads. That's a whole different thing. Okay, next up, we're going to handle EVs, effort values. In old games, they were called DVs. We don't mess with those since like Generation 2. It's been like 20 years. So you have EVs, just the letter E and the letter V. And that's the ones that are, it's hard to explain the overall in-depth. I'm just going to summarize it for you because we're not trying to build competitive Pokemon here. You want to use 26 of any of the vitamins, or you want to fight random Pokemon that give EVs. So I could go out there and I could fight however many Makuhitas until I have my EVs maxed. I really haven't fought wild Pokemon to do that in the longest time. I just use vitamins. It costs a little bit of money, but it's fine. So we're going to go over here. So you saw we have 259 attack. I had to test to make sure how much it actually boosted up. All right. Whenever you grab your vitamins here, they're going to be over at the Chansey one over in Mesa Goza. So you see Chansey on the door. You buy these, and again, you need 26 of these for whatever stat you're trying to cap out. Again, we're not building competitive Pokemon. Just buy 26 of the 2 stats you want. If you want an absolute wall, a whole unit, just get defense and get special defense, or HP and defense, whatever you might want. So you can see like iron does defense, calcium does special attack. So protein, we're going to use these on it. Remember, it was 259 was our attack. We're going to use all 4 of these on Dragonite. So go back out, check summary, 268. So just from those 4, Dragonite just gained an additional 9 points to his stats. Again, 26 will get you the absolute most on Dragonite's attack then. That's how you peak that out. And you want to do most Pokemon, you're going to want speed and attack, unless they're meant to be dirt slow. We'll take Donphan. It's my favorite Pokemon. We'll take Donphan on that one. You'd probably want to do his full defense, and then maybe a little bit into his attack, a tiny bit into special defense. Depends what kind of build. But for the sake of what you're doing, if this is like you're just brand new getting into this and you're just trying to complete raids, rock with attack and speed. It's going to be your best way to go. Carbos, and then get your protein, or Carbos and get your calcium. It's your best way to do that. All right, this last one's going to be a big one. So we've covered natures. Remember, you had the 4 main natures: adamant, modest, jolly, timid. Those are your 4, and go from there. Effort values, EVs. Right? Now we're getting on to IVs, which is your individual values. So when you look in here, when you beat the game, and it tells you it's got best, decent, best, pretty good, whatever else. So Dragonite already has a best in his attack. So we can't mess with that at all. So for this sake, we're just going to use his defense, because it doesn't hurt to have the defense. It's actually a pretty good Dragonite, to be honest with you. I might end up actually using him. But we're going to go for the defense. So we're going to click right here. Click on your map. Back it up a little bit. Go over to the ice area. You're going to go right up here. Montevenera. Sure. Let's fly up here. You're going to see Homie, who's pretty cool looking next to his Abomasnow, to be honest with you. Abomasnow has been in like 3 games back to back. It's fine. Just, you know, I hadn't seen Abomasnow in like 15 years. It's not true. He was an X and Y too, but. Alright, Squawkabilly is taking his sweet time to fly us up here. So this Homie right back here. Once your Pokemon reaches level 50, which means 5 levels over 4-star raids, or once you already do 5-star raids, you get it from a 5-star raid, you can just instantly do this. So for the sake of it, let's look at Dragonite's defense. So scrolling over, his defense is 158. So we talked to Home Dog over here. Him as Abomasnow do hyper training. So that's where you're going to use a bottle cap. You can buy those bottle caps in Mesagoza, the city we were just in. I didn't go over that because it's like right next to the deli. It's in the Deli Bird shop. You can buy those bottle caps. So click this, select. I want to use bottle caps. Gold bottle caps will do all 6 of your stats at one time. Just stick with bottle caps. It's honestly just easier. I have 15 of them just from playing the game. So the stat I want to raise was defense, right? We're going to click this. I actually totally didn't see what that stat was. I don't remember what it was because I was talking a bunch. You guys will see it on the screen when we get there. But you saw how we went from decent, and now we're going to click into our box, and it is now saying defense best. That's just kidding. Hyper trained. I was like, wait a minute, did they change it? It definitely didn't have other hyper trained Pokemon. Defense hyper trained right there. We're going to check summary. Scrolling over, 170. So we just gained defense from doing that because now that stat being hyper trained, that means that it is now the best it can be. It is 31 out of 31. And that's really all you need to know. I'll recap it real quick. This might turn into a short. You want to go through your nature, you're probably going to want adamant, modest, timid, or jolly. Any of those 4 natures. Then you're going to go into your effort values. That's where you get your protein, your carbos, your calcium. You need 26 to cap a stat out. Then you're going to go to your individual values. You got to be over level 50. You talk to this homie in Montevenera. Give him a bottle cap, and he'll fix your stat for you. And it's honestly just that simple. Then you got competitive Pokemon to rock with. So you're going to have to do this for a lot of the Paradox Pokemon because they don't come with their stats like that. So if we click over into our boxes again, because God forbid you see your judge in your party. Over here, I have Hyper. He has really bad stats. Inherently, they have terrible stats. Probably terrible nature because that's just how you find them. You can't breed them down. They're not in raids, which I think is very lame. But it is what it is. But you can see I've hyper trained him. He's the adamant nature. Same thing. It's honestly that simple, I promise you. It's always going to display the old nature. And when you do breeding with this Pokemon, you can't pass that nature down. So that's why a lot of people will still prefer to go with breeding. If you want to see that breeding guide, I can make it pretty easy. It's not difficult. But I feel like everybody on the face of the planet has made 50,000 of these videos since 2014. So like I said, I kind of just assumed everybody knew this knowledge. And I've only since these games came out learned that nope. Like nobody that's not on like Twitter or like YouTube in general, nobody knows how this stuff works. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful in any capacity, make sure you leave a like, sub to the channel. My name is Brad. You can follow us at Five9Gaming on Twitter, or you can follow me at my own personal Twitter at BradicaLYT. Thank you so much. Deuces.